I never imagined I'd become the kind of man who would resort to spying on his own wife. But something inside me said things weren't adding up. I kept brushing it off as paranoia, telling myself I was just overthinking. But every late night she claimed to be at work, every quiet phone call that abruptly ended the moment I entered the room, every time her gaze shifted away from mine, it all stirred doubt that slowly took root in my mind. Her name was Lily. We'd been together nearly 10 years, married for 6 of them. Our life was built on shared dreams, private jokes, and what I believed was unshakable trust. But little by little, the woman I once knew began slipping through my fingers. At first, I tried to ignore it. I chalked it up to stress, maybe even my own insecurities playing tricks on me. But the feeling clung to me like a weight I couldn't shake off. Eventually, I did something I swore I'd never do. I crossed a line I once considered unthinkable. I installed hidden cameras in our home, carefully placed in the living room, the kitchen, even the hallway near our bedroom. I told myself it was just for peace of mind, a way to prove I was wrong and hopefully feel like an idiot for doubting her. Days went by and everything looked completely normal. Lily came home as usual, cooked our meals, curled up on the couch with a glass of wine in one hand and her phone in the other, flipping through shows she'd watched 100 times. It all seemed so routine, so ordinary, that I began to feel ashamed. Maybe I had turned into a suspicious husband, letting fear cloud his judgment. Then came Thursday. She said she had to stay late at work again. Her voice was calm, playful even, as she kissed me goodbye. For a moment, I believed her, almost. That evening, I was supposed to meet my friend Marcus for drinks, but something inside urged me to cancel. I stayed home, glued to the camera feeds, anxiety creeping in with every passing hour. Time crawled by. Nothing unusual happened, until a little after 10. The front door opened. Lily walked in. But she wasn't alone. A man followed behind her. I didn't recognize him. He was tall, sharply dressed, and carried himself with confidence. She didn't look startled or uncomfortable. She looked completely at ease, as if this wasn't the first time. And then I saw it, that smile. The same smile I used to think was meant only for me. She led him to the couch and sat down, too close. His hand grazed her shoulder. She laughed softly, leaned into him, and then kissed him. In that moment, everything stopped. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. I simply sat there, frozen, watching in complete silence as everything I believed about my marriage fell apart. I watched it all, unable to look away. Every shared glance, every laugh, every gentle touch, it all used to be mine. Now, it belonged to someone else. A stranger. And she didn't look ashamed. She looked happy. That night, I must have replayed the footage a dozen times, desperate to find something, anything, that could explain it away. A misunderstanding, a misread moment, some shred of context that could make it all make sense. But there was nothing. Just the plain, merciless truth staring back at me. I didn't confront her that night. I didn't yell. I didn't demand answers. I just sat alone in the dark, drowning in silence, feeling like a stranger in my own home. The days that followed felt unreal. Lily carried on like everything was normal. She smiled. She talked about weekend getaways, about summer vacations we could plan, even about the children we might have one day. But every word that left her mouth sounded like a lie wrapped in a lullaby, soft, sweet, and laced with blades. I had become a shadow in my own home, smiling when I had to, nodding at the right moments, pretending to be present. But every time I looked at her, I was reminded of the betrayal I had witnessed with my own eyes. At night, I would lie beside her in silence, listening to the steady rhythm of her breathing, wondering how long she had been living this double life. I questioned whether the life we built together had been real at all. Yet, I kept going back to the footage. Not because I enjoyed the pain, but because part of me still couldn't accept it. I kept watching that same face. The woman who once held me when I was at my lowest. The one who danced barefoot with me in the kitchen. Now, there she was, offering her affection to someone else without hesitation. Then came the moment everything changed. I came home early one evening, far earlier than she expected. As I stepped through the front door, I heard soft laughter coming from the kitchen. Her voice was tender, warm, playful, but it wasn't meant for me. I stood there, frozen in the entryway, listening as she whispered into her phone, giggling like someone newly in love. That was the moment something inside me snapped. But it wasn't rage. It wasn't heartbreak. It was something quieter. Final. Later that night, she was humming while preparing dinner, completely unaware that my world had fallen apart. For her, life went on. For me, everything had lost its meaning. The mask I had been wearing for days, pretending I could survive this, had become too heavy to carry. I walked into the kitchen, calm and collected, like a man stepping into a storm he no longer feared. She looked up and smiled, that same smile that once made my heart race. But now, it meant nothing. "We need to talk," I said, my voice firm and emotionless. Her expression shifted. "What's wrong?" she asked, clearly unsettled by my tone. "I know, Lily." She blinked, confused. "Know what?" I didn't answer with words. I pulled out my phone, opened the video, and pressed play. The truth lit up the screen. Her betrayal laid bare in every movement, every touch, every laugh. She stared in disbelief, the color draining from her face. Her lips parted, struggling to find the right words. "It's not what it looks like," she whispered. I let out a low, empty chuckle. "No, Lily. It's exactly what it looks like." That's when she broke. She dropped to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably, grabbing at my leg like a drowning person reaching for air. "Please," she cried. "I'm sorry. We can fix this. I still love you." But her words were meaningless. Just noise. I looked down at her, this woman I had once loved more than anything, and felt nothing. "You're not sorry for what you did," I said, my voice cold as winter. "You're just sorry you got caught." Her cries grew louder, her pleas more desperate. She swore it was a mistake. She promised it would never happen again. But the man she married, he was already gone. I gently removed her grip from my leg, stood tall, and said the last words I would ever speak to her. "Goodbye, Lily." I walked away while her sobs echoed behind me. But I didn't turn around. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I felt peace. The kind of peace that only comes when you finally walk away from something that's been slowly killing you. That night, I packed a small bag with just the essentials and left. No big farewell, no dramatic goodbye, just quiet liberation. She kept trying to contact me afterward. She called. She texted. She sent long emails begging for another chance. But I didn't respond. Not out of hatred, just because there was nothing left to say. In the months that followed, I started over in a modest apartment. It wasn't easy. Some nights, the past would try to creep back in. But those memories eventually faded. What replaced them was clarity. I forgave her. Not to heal what was broken between us, but to free myself from carrying the pain any longer. Because here's something no one ever tells you. When someone betrays you, they don't just destroy your trust, they destroy the part of you that believed in them. And once that part is gone, it never comes back. She didn't lose me the night I discovered her infidelity. She lost me the moment she decided I wasn't worth staying loyal to. And I found myself the day I finally realized I had always been enough. When I closed that chapter, I didn't need an apology. I didn't need explanations. Sometimes, true closure comes when you stop waiting for answers and simply walk away. She wasn't sorry for the pain she caused. She was only sorry she lost the one person who would have loved her endlessly. But by then, I was already gone. I was done. And that was enough.